TGIF, everyone.
Happy birthday to you. Happy
Dale's
birthday to you. Happy birthday,
Happy
Coach
birthday, dear
Dale.
Dale.
Happy
Happy
birthday
Birthday
to
to
you.
you.
Gave me time to give me a
Man.
little bit of time to be able to put my charts up. Thank you, guys.
I wonder what that. There's a bright glow coming from the west towards America. That must mean you lighting your candles, Dale.
Oh yeah.
I tell you what, guys.
You have a
It's almost like
satellite
an
image.
eclipse. Did you need your sunglasses, Ryan?
What's the sun coming up over there?
Yeah,
I tell you what,
know,
though, we don't. It's a good thing we don't sing for a living.
Oh yeah.
I thought,
Yeah. Thank goodness it's only Dale that sings for
by
us.
the time it got to us that were listening, it was in tune. So, thank you guys. I appreciate it. I'm going with the Jack Benny strategy. I'm 39 for the rest of my life. I think Jane does that too. And thank you, everyone, all our community for the nice wishes. And let's get back to business. And we have one trading day left next week in the month. So, unless something dramatic.
Only for you.
You look at your holidays, yeah.
Oh, that's right. So, reversal month in the dollar. So, I think that could be important. Haven't seen one all the way up. So, this could have been the month for a turn. Even the bulls are looking for a correction. So, Blake, I think, has a great idea. So far it's even Blake. It's respected that's false breakdown on pops. I would think that it should be able to get through it, and maybe we'll have a shot to sell it, 50% back or something.
Well, it's end of month, end of quarter. Anything can happen. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. I've been scaling out of dollar shorts over the last couple of days, kind of in and out, but staying on the short side. But I mean, you guys have been around long enough. You've seen these month end flows, especially after seeing equities move the way they've moved. Anything is possible, and you have to be flexible, right?
Yeah, there are 3 charts that look almost identical. So that dollar chart I was showing earlier, I mean, look, just hanging on support like this, and then your 10-year yield looks a lot like that, and the yen looks a lot like that. So there's a dollar, and where's the 10-year? There it is. Same right there on the ledge too, with the yen. So I mean, something's about to cut loose here. Same thing. Aren't those 3 charts very similar looking to you guys?
That's
Like,
a great showing to find correlations, Dale. That's absolutely great.
So thank you. And it's all about rates, right? So is the Fed meeting next week? And
no, not yet. The Fed is on the 15th of June.
Okay. So another week without the Fed. What do you think, guys? Especially you, Blake. There enough energy in the S&Ps to squeeze the 4,100 shorts here?
I'm going to give my 2 cents here because the S&P was my chart of the day yesterday, and then I want Ryan and K-Man to kind of fill us in what's happened overnight, in the European hours and kind of their feelings, and with Stelios too, with their feelings regarding the PCE today. But I will say this, equities are I've mentioned this a few times this week, and I want to continue on this theme so everybody understands where my head's at. I think sentiment was pretty poor going into this week. Everybody was bearish, recession, Fed's tightening, the Fed's doesn't have your back, blah, 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 all that other crap. Everybody heard it. Everybody heard that argument. S&Ps are below 3,900, 4,000. it can't, we're never going to go up again. This market's going to slide 50% before we even, see the light of day, yada, yada, yada. Sentiment was pretty sour going into this week. Here we are. S&Ps are we had divergent relative strength. You can see it right on your chart.
Yep.
As we hit new lows, we pointed that out a lot over the last week and a half. And here we are at 4,100, and I think the risk is that we start squeezing, and the volume's low and its volume's light, and it's very typical of a bear market squeeze. I still think that all those arguments that we've heard are valid, but I think positioning is really poor. So, if this data, the PCE data, comes in a little lighter than expected, and I think Goldman thinks that the data is going to come in below, and I'm going to get my numbers straight. I believe they think that the PCE numbers are kind of going to come in kind of light, and if that is the case, we could see a squeeze higher in the S&P, and I'm thinking 4,300, but it's going to be the opposite that we'd seen in this bull market for I'm just minus COVID. Obviously, I'm just going to say the insatiable grind higher that we got for the last 12, 13 years was met with everything that looked like a breakdown ended up being a false breakdown, and we'd rally. I think everything that you're going to see for the next year or two is going to look like a breakout, but it's going to be a false breakout, and we're going to sell off. So if we break 4,100, I think we probably see 4,200, 4,250, 4,300, and then we roll right back over again. But these squeezes are going to be sharp. They're going to be painful, and they're going to be especially painful for people that keep selling at the lows. Not necessarily the shorting. It's just people, liquidate their positions at the lows. S&P rallies 2-3%. They go, oh shoot, I shouldn't have done that. And then they get back in, and then the market rolls back over to new lows. And I think that's the market we're in. It's a typical bear market, guys. And those are my opinions. I'm going to shut up now. I'd love to hear from Ryan, K-Man, and Stelios. And even the birthday boy. So there you go.
Birthday boy says, look, I just pulled up VIX, and I know that, unlike, I forgot the guy who believes in continuation formations, head and shoulders, bottoms, but sure looks like we're putting in a right shoulder here, or at least a rectangle. And this pullback isn't, didn't give it up like this.
I think the VIX sees 20 again. I mean, what 20? Happens when, I think we see 20 again. And it's not like, I think we're going to stay elevated, it's just like post COVID.
To the bottom of the range again.
Yeah. Why not? Why not? We're not going to
get great trading markets.
You've got to be a trader. Got it.
Yeah. And you were praying for higher FX volatility.
Hells yeah!
Years.
Please let us make a living here in
rallies. I when I look at this, it's it tells me that there could be a new high because of the RSI reading. So maybe it's just my bias here. I'm just looking to. I think that it's. That we could be on the precipice. I could be wrong. They could blow off one more time. We also, direction markets are going in. I want to bring Stella in here. Sometimes change at the beginning and the end of the season. So, this month we have, the spring trading season's over. It was pretty negative in stocks, and, you could see what did well in the spring and what did poorly in the spring, and sometimes that could reverse on the solstice or around there. So, markets, if you believe markets are cyclical, different things cause cycles, and the nature and just the rhythm of the universe is part of it, and a change of seasons is a shift. So we'll see what happens. I've been looking for a pullback in gold.
Wait, I'm sorry, Dale. I hate to interrupt. There's a headline that says Biden administration is planning to cancel 10,000 in student debt per borrower. Washington Post citing sources. I mean,
this is the bucket. So,
Yeah, it is a drop in the bucket, but it's just like this is the steps forward to socialism. Here you go. There you go. All right.
Oh yeah, we're there.
Fantastic. All right.
We're there, and
Michael said I just paid off mine. You know, like my wife's stepbrother's got he's got $500,000 in debt, student debt as a doctor, ER doctor. Woohoo! 10 grand. Thank you. All right. See ya.
And you're right. There are people that have paid it off that worked really hard to do it. But, that may be why he's not forgiving it all anyway. Just, it's midterms. So,
Gotta
send me
be
a
something.
cookie.
Yeah. Sorry. Sorry to interrupt. Okay. Just that headline was like, whoa, I mean, everybody expects it. Every European expects it. I know. So.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Goodbye, America. So another reason to be bearish about.
Just hand out money. It's all good. Hand out money, right? But nothing comes for free, though.
Someone in the room brought this up the other day.
Which one?
Stella, it's one of my 100th drive to a top. Anyway, even nat gas looks heavy. So, I was looking for some type of pullback. It was pretty shallow in gold and silver. I'm starting to get FOMO. I have small positions on, but I was hoping for something down here. Yeah, here and here. But they look pretty good. They had a good week, right? You look at gold, 2 up weeks in a row, and still has to get through that 1890. And this week, silver is closing back above where everyone would have been stopped out. A couple of nice weeks. It's a 2-week reversal, actually. And so it's gold. And last week, Euro was a 2-week reversal right here, and it followed through. So I think there's some changes going on in the market in the last week or two.
Yep.
Do you have FOMO in silver here?
I am. I always have FOMO. I only have half the position I want, and I'm really trying to be patient. But could this be the low? Yeah, it could be. But I don't think, I still think we're chopping sideways. End of story. And the Fed will tell us when it's not chopping sideways, and June is going to be an important meeting, because the market is slowly maybe starting to consider that they might not carry on with 50.
The monthly really, I'm sorry, but the monthly really shows the difference in the strength. I mean, the S&P had a decent recovery. It's still lower on the week. It's almost lower on the month, but NASDAQ so much weaker.
Yeah.
And the weakness is starting to turn in Russell. So Russell didn't make a new low last week. So that's if you're looking for silver linings, that's one in the Russell.
Yep.
Bounces just off the prior lows, just above them.
Yeah.
It's a clear signal.
Oh, real major area. Look at that, where it held. So this one got to where a lot of people are thinking the S&Ps will get to. It's the pre-COVID highs, right? Yep. So Russell did it.
And if you just think about it from a technical perspective, that it did exactly what it should do, right? That doesn't mean it's going to hold, but we're bouncing from levels that we should bounce from. And and when you get back to a key technical level like this, it usually takes a couple of whacks at it before you break it. And this is probably our first stab at breaking through support. First stab is going to hold, and we might take us. I'm just elongating time here, like maybe sometime in the summer, maybe the end of summer, before we crack it.
Yeah. So just some important technical action, and just like that. Go ahead. What?
S&P the same. We had that big fib level, 38.2, 38.
That's right.
Hang on.
And Dale, you mind if I take over the charts from here?
No,
You've been waiting for me.
That'd be a great birthday gift.
Okay. Well, there you go. You can go back to surfing the internet now.
You know, I guess. you know what's great about having a birthday on a holiday weekend? You get to celebrate it all through the holiday.
All right.
Well, it's a birthday weekend. Man,
yeah, it's a birthday weekend. And let's just really, and it's a big birthday weekend too. When you talk about the Memorial Day weekend, right? So I mean,
I'll be watching Band of Brothers in Pacific.
I love Band of Brothers. So good, so good. All right, so here's your 38% retracement that Ryan's talking about. And by the way, before we go on any further, we got 10 minutes before the PCE data comes out. I need to mention this. Ryan has been hosting over the course of the last has it been a week and a half, 2 weeks? 2 weeks?
2 weeks, yeah, nearly 3 weeks. 3, I think. 3
weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks to the public. We introduced the Flow Show, and Ryan prepares all you European traders and even the Asian traders that are before they head to bed, getting you prepared for the European trade session, going into North America, getting you guys all. I'm sleeping at that point, but it's prepping all of you guys and gals to get ready for what's going to happen going into North America. And kind of the show ahead of F.A.C.E. And it's not just Ryan, it's K-Man, Stelios is in there. Leandro joined you today, didn't he?
Yeah, Leandro came in. He's bit on Bitcoin. Yeah, very good.
Yeah, did he speak Spanish or did he speak English?
Spanglish.
I don't understand either of his. So I don't know. No, I'm kidding.
Little Spanglish he spoke. Leandro is in there. He's obviously our one of our analysts in Spain. So make sure you guys join in. It's free. It's just like the F.A.C.E. webinar, but better because you don't have to listen to myself, which is awesome. And so go in and next week, I know Ryan, you're going to be out and you're going to be in France, correct?
No, Ireland. Close.
You're going to be in Ireland. Well, whatever. You're going to be somewhere. Anyway, no, just kidding. But you're going to be out of pocket, and K-Man's going to be taking over. So if you guys like to hear, yes, K-Man, just what do you got in store for all the traders next week?
Well, basically the let's say the structure of the show will remain the same. We talk about news. We talk about what's to come. We're looking at a few levels in a few currencies. Then we're answering a few questions from the audience. And next week, my ForexAnalytix colleagues, some of them will be around and giving me a hand to talk about anything specific that they would like. So it's always a plenty, half an hour, 3/4 of an hour, or sometimes close to an hour of interesting stuff.
Great.
We had a good one today. We there wasn't much news and stuff out, so we jumped into one of the questions from one of the guys yesterday. Was asking about profit taking, so we did a little bit of a segment on, talking about profit taking and the methods and what to avoid and how to go about it. And I think the guys and girls enjoyed it. So yeah, we go off the path now and again if it's quiet, talk about trading aspects, and very good.
Awesome. Well, we're looking forward. Oh, well, I'm lying. I'm going to be sleeping. You guys are going to be. I'm sure a lot of people listening in right now are going to be looking forward to it, and having you here. I mean, K-Man, you spent 40 some odd years on trade desks at major banks around the globe. Spent 5 years in Tokyo, trading the yen, and I mean, you have a lot of education or a lot of knowledge that I'm sure you're going to be, just gifting to people listening in. So I'm excited for everybody. All right, let's something that you brought up, K-Man, in the chat room. And by the way, if you guys don't have not seen, this is the ForexAnalytix chat room, just so you can see it's a slow Friday, but this is when I got up about an hour ago when I said good morning, somewhere around. This is just the general chat room. I'm not showing you the trades room, the macro chat room, the trades room where, you guys can see that I, picked up bought some euro, sold dollar mex earlier this morning. Those chat rooms, we were talking about the CNH, and the CNH got a little firm today. And what's that usually tell you when you see that renminbi that won start to firm up. I mean, that's a nice risk on type of indication, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Although we have to note that CNH has been traveling a little bit on its own of late, because we had this decoupling with the Aussie, especially this week. Actually, the Aussie doing well, and CNH still printing intermediate lows. But yes, it's and we've seen it actually in the, albeit slow, but in the price action as well on the rest. Aussie Kiwi holding well. Euro crosses slipping and sliding a little bit throughout our morning. It might all have to do. I think the results, the company's results also came out in China, and they might have been less dramatic than what people were expecting. So that might have something to do with it.
Easing.
Chit-chatting about investments into China. So a bit of a mix. And
I'm taking my money out of student loan debt and I'm putting it right into China. That's what I'm doing. And look,
into China property debt.
Yeah, right, exactly. Just take a look at the Aussie. I mean, we still have, we have this inverted head and shoulder pattern. Still have a while to complete it. We got to make it up towards 72, 75. Kiwi's about ready to break and complete the inverted head and shoulder pattern. But man, we break above this. You'll notice here the breakdown point at 65.30. We cracked that, and we're going to be trading back up to the 50-day moving average, maybe even towards the 200-day moving average, like we do multiple times before we fail. Again, bear market rally. Oh yeah, get everybody long, and then we just revert. This is the same type of action we're seeing, just in reverse, that you would have seen the last 12, 13 years going in the opposite direction. We're seeing it in currencies too. So these are the types of things that you guys need to be watching, going into the next couple of weeks. Hey, look, I was through the daily roundup, which is a webinar that's exclusive to the ForexAnalytix subscribers. Yesterday, we were talking about positioning yourself ahead of the end of month, which happens to be next week. Next week, you're getting a lot of window dressing going into end of month, especially with a lot of funds, and the currency market is really, really ripe to trade into end of month for the next couple of days. I try to think where we might be in the next few days in currencies before we can, take action going into midweek next week. Turnaround Tuesday is probably going to be a big deal next week, just in my opinion. But that's neither here nor there. So, last minute thoughts before we have our PCE. And by the way, if you go to ForexAnalytix, just the dashboard here, and we've got data flash that automatically pulls up. This is gives you, Bloomberg type of style. When the data comes out, you'll see it where it says TBA to be announced, that those numbers will change automatically, just like a Bloomberg system. You get this included with ForexAnalytix, one of the many, many tools that we include. I'm going to pull that up here in just a second. But any last minute thoughts going into the data? What are you guys thinking here? And by the way, I'm going to go ahead and take my euro off. For those of you that are long with me in ForexAnalytix, I just took 20 pips off just now. Okay, there you go. So
nice.
Well, we're expecting 4.9% year-on-year core PCE. That's down from 5.2. As I've said before, I think the risk is always for a stronger print. Now the consumer is starting to show weakness. We've seen this in retailers and their earnings and their results, but I don't think that the momentum is there yet for inflation to be lower. So I think for choice, I would guess something like above 5% for core PCE. 5.
Okay, 5%. And I think Goldman was looking for a print below 5.1, 5%. I think that's what the headline was yesterday. But anyway, Ryan, do you have any thoughts here going into the data?
Yeah, I think it might be a bit of a surprise if we see it above last month, which was 5.2% on the core. The headline PCE was 6.6% last month, year on year. They're expecting 6.2%. If it stays around like the CPI, it dipped a bit, but stayed pretty much around there. I don't know if we get much reaction. Just as a rough gauge, you want to look at perhaps 5 pips variation on the numbers to get a bigger reaction in the dollar.
Got it. Okay. Well, we're going to watch this reaction here. K-Man, we just got a few seconds. How about you?
I'm just watching the numbers, my friend.
Watch and react, right? Okay. And Dale, you have any thoughts here?
I'm just
Pray.
trying to think about.
He's on the mojitos.
I'm going to think about eating my cake.
Candles.
Here we go, guys. One second.
He's drunk already. Okay, let's go.
Hey, another Bloody Mary, please.
Scream the data if you see it, because
What is it? I don't see it yet. Personal income slightly lower. I don't see it.
Waiting.
They're looking for the negative sign.
Well,
there
it is.
In line,
4.9. Okay.
Wow, look at Goldman, spot on this.
Could be a bit spicier for around the fixes.
Sure.
But also, it's a double UK bank holiday Thursday and Friday next week, and we've obviously got non-farm payrolls coming out. So again, a little bit of a liquidity trap perhaps there need to watch out for. There is a couple of big expiries that I pointed out to the guys in the room today. Euro dollar in particular has got over 8 billion going off 105.90 to 106. We're obviously not close to that at the moment. But
I was going to say, do you think it's going to be a magnet, or what do you think?
We're probably too far, but who knows what happens between now and the 31st.
Just by the way, what Ryan's talking about is he's talking about all these options expiring. If you look in the ForexAnalytix in the platform, you can actually see all the orders and options that where those are at, and Ryan posts those throughout the course of the day, and kind of shows everybody where those locations are at. So you can know ahead of time, like, hey, if I've got it, tell us how that operates, Ryan.
It's important information.
Explain to us, like, if there's all these huge options expiring around the 106 level, what does that tell me? I mean, how's that help me as a trader? Give us a little explainer, please.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to know exactly what people are doing, but you can get certain clues. So the one aspect of looking at the options is to see where traders are hedging the most risk. Are there more calls than there are puts? Is more of the option activity on the upside or the downside? It just gives you a hint of which way the market's leaning. Then if you come down a bit deeper, for example, this large expiry next week, 8.3 billion is a big expiry across 2 price points. So I look at the trade dates. When were these trades put on? Now, if they were put on some months ago, as it can be the case, 6 months, 12 months ago, then perhaps they're just some normal hedging activity. They're not going to create much fuss in the market. But these trades were put on fairly recently, pretty much at the end of April and all through May. So that suggests that there's players or a player who is looking for something specific on those options. Now, obviously, we're 100 odd pips away, so it's unlikely that we see anything like that. But should we get a price move and we're down maybe 106.50s, 40s, then there's potentially more inclination for that option player to hedge all their Greek stuff about, because you get gamma delta positioning as the price moves around the option. So that it then becomes perhaps a bit of a magnet, because obviously whoever's on the other side of the trade, if they haven't hedged it off, they're going to be doing the opposite thing in terms of last minute hedging. So that's when it can become a bit of a draw towards the expiry. But one thing, if you look at if you want a pure trading opportunity for it, is if you get these big expiries and the prices around there, look at what other prices are doing. So let's say dollars getting sold off across the board, cables ripping higher, dollar yens dropping lower, and euro dollars doing nothing but sticking to an expiry, a large expiry. Then potentially got an opportunity to say, right, well, if this dollar theme in the market is carrying on, once that expiry is out of the way, euro dollar is going to catch up with the rest of the dollar trade. So if cable's shooting higher, euro dollar is going to do a bit of catch up. Then it potentially gives you an opportunity to say, right, well, I'm going to go long euro dollar, bang on the expiry, and hopefully after expiry it's going to jump and catch up with the other pairs, because that's what the dollar's doing elsewhere. So it's looking for those out of sync movements that may be created by the options.
Got it. All right. Well, that makes a lot of sense to me. And if you guys just notice, I'm just kind of like drawing around on my charts, kind of seeing where I think things are going to be going. And as Ryan's talking, and look, I mean, I think options expiration actually explains a lot from a positioning standpoint. And you can look at equities are like spiking to highs, by the way, if you guys haven't seen it. We're getting close to 4,100, and I can only imagine how many stops are above 4,100.
Oh, their eyeballs will be popping out of their head. They'll be
and look at just let's not forget, this is very typical of a short squeeze. Look at the volume here. It's very anemic as we scream higher. We breach 4,100. We may trade up here towards 42, 4,300, somewhere in this neighborhood on low volume. It's going to set up a great place to be on the short side, but you have to, price will drive the market. It's not volume. It's not, and it's sentiment, right? So, just be really, really, really careful. I don't know if Stelios is still around. No, he's not. Steve popped in to obviously sing to Dale a solo, happy birthday solo, Steve, right? Is that why you're here?
You won't even answer that one.
Absolutely not. He won't even unmute himself. That's great. Damn, I was trying to really catch him. Anyway, Dale, I'll sing you a solo if you really want.
I've had enough.
They're like, no, I'm all full. Thank you very much.
I'm gonna take an ibuprofen.
Yeah, take a pass. Sorry, I don't feel so good.
Marys. Yeah, be all right.
All right. Hey, but Ryan, thank you very much for explaining the options expiration. I think it's positioning's everything in the markets. I say everything. That is a big segment of the market, and it's positioning how people, hedge themselves, their risk. I mean, people think that, if like, for example, if you get this meltdown in equities or you get a sell-off in equities, that all of a sudden everybody loses money. But, institutions are a little bit smarter than that, right? They hedge their risk, and they're buying puts, and, they're selling calls, and, and that's why Wall Street continues to be Wall Street. The average person may have a different take, but they do the same type of shenanigans when you're dealing in currencies as well. I mean, when you have downside risk in a currency, or ups, downside risk, or whatever it is, you're going to hedge it different ways. Whether it's through crosses or whatever. And let me ask K-Man this, if he's still around. Oh no. Oh, he's still here. Hey, K-Man.
Yes, I'm here.
How did you pay attention to options that your different like clients would have on at your banks?
Yeah, well, we did not as much the expiries that we're seeing. Actually, we did, but having been in markets, we know that you need several billions of euros at expiry to even have a chance of attracting. But of course, we paid attention to what our main clients had on board, because that would hint at some hedging activity around prices or below above prices. But yeah, and I'm still using options, although I haven't found a real good retail platform yet. But I'm still trading options myself. It's nice because you know your risk, and it's especially good if you do it the way I'm doing, like a bit of dynamic hedging around strikes and stuff to try and pay back for premiums paid. So I still like it as an instrument. And yes, of course, we did pay attention, because the option market out there is huge, absolutely huge. And especially when you're trading yen, you have to do it, because it's an integral part of Japanese clients' strategies. The corporates even are using options a lot, option structures to get more than just 0% on their yen.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
All right.
Yields enhancement.
Well, it's so I think you guys, for those of you that don't listen in to K-Man and Ryan to the Flow Show, you probably should be, right? It's think about how much knowledge you guys are going to gain listening in the European hours on the Flow Show. I did put the link in our description. It is free for you guys to listen to, so make sure you listen to that. Hey Dale, I want to wish you a happy birthday. I'm gonna button it up here, at least on my end. But I want to say thank you guys for joining the F.A.C.E experience, and remember, visit Trader Funding Program. This is our webinar sponsor. If you want to learn how to access larger amounts of money, because maybe you don't have access to it, or you just don't want to trade your own money, trade ours. We take all the risk. You keep 75% of the profits. It's you have to take an assessment. We have an assessment fee. It's a one-time fee. We have a lot of traders that are converting into live real accounts this week, which is awesome. That's what we like to see. Not everybody's going to pass, but we are we're so committed to this. We don't put a time limit on you, and we also give you access to the ForexAnalytix community for a certain period of time. Watch this explainer video right at the bottom. It's 2 minutes. You want to learn more about the Trader Funding Program. Dale, have the happiest of birthdays, man.
Thanks,
I
buddy.
mean, yeah. Happy birthday to you, team.
Happy
I want to say,
Dale.
Thank you, man. Guys, Ryan, everybody. Nice to be on bonus time. So I appreciate it, and like I always say, don't just count your pips, count your blessings, and make the most out of every day, because money comes and goes, and K-Man and I know time is gone forever. Just trying to cheer you up.
Oh my God! We're getting younger by the year.
Yeah, in spirit. So, and that's all that counts, really. So, the best team on the net. Okay, and we give so much to the community, and I know we're helping people every day, and it's nice to have a mission and a legacy of helping traders out instead of trying to exploit them like those other people do. So, team, thank you very much. I look forward to, I'm jonesing by Sunday night. Are we taking Monday off, Blake?
Yeah, absolutely. It's Memorial Day weekend. You guys have a very nice long weekend. I'm sure. Well, I'm not sure. The Europeans and K-Man. I'm sure he'll be broadcasting. But for the F.A.C.E experience show that you're listening to right now, we will not be broadcasting on Monday. It is Memorial Day here in the U.S. This is where we honor our fallen that have fought for freedom here in the United States. It's a big celebration in the United States, and it's something that I definitely adhere to. So, happy birthday to you, Dale. Have a great long weekend for those of you celebrating, and Ryan, have a great trip. K-Man, good luck next week on the Flow Show, and I'm sure Stelios and Steve will be joining you along with some Spanglish speaking Leandros and
yeah. So check out the Flow Show for sure Monday. Okay.
Next week he'll be singing on my show, I think.
Damn, and he's bringing his guitar and everything. He is super talented.
Exactly.
Super talented. That makes me jealous.
Yeah. Handsome, jealous, got the whole package, right?
I know, man.
Anyway, but
Spanglish. Women melted this, sound of his voice. It's a bunch of crap. Why didn't I get blessed with that?
You got some of it, man. You got some of it. So everyone, have a great weekend. We enjoy what we do. I think it comes through, and hope that we're adding value to what you're trying to accomplish in a difficult endeavor. We just want to help you avoid the landmines each one of us have stepped on. So have a great weekend, team. F.A.C.E community. See everyone next week.
Thanks, guys.
Adios, guys.